just in terms of looking at why?
I think it's activity.
Yeah.
I think it's just activity level is down. His aggressiveness to challenge shots, pursue rebounds, offensively and defensively, just hasn't been consistently where it was a year ago. I don't know if this is some lingering effects, maybe from a long summer or a long couple years. But we've talked to him about it. He recognizes it. Thought he was a little bit better in the Dallas game, but we need it every night.
He's such an individual. I mean, he stands out as he does stuff that nobody else can do.
Yeah.
How do you make up for when you don't just put another 7-2?
No, I mean, when he's off the floor, the way that you play defense has to change. Your rotations, etc., your coverages, all that. So it's very difficult. And then when he's on the floor and he's not doing what he does at a high level, then it feels like you have to think about changing around that too, which is unfortunate because he should be able to benefit from his greatness down there.
Just the way that Julius was able to stand up, I think it was Gafford late
Yeah.
there. I mean, does he have that presence at least defensively, one-on-one? If you're going to challenge physically,
he did it. He did it at the end of the game against Jackson Jr. too in Memphis. He just has to do it more consistently throughout the game, rather than just wait till these clutch moments to do it. We've put him on. He's got a low center of gravity. He's, moves his feet well. He's physical. He hits first. He stands his ground. He's taken that type of matchup throughout the season at times for us, so just has to be able to do it, from the jump.
We talked about clutch time like on media day.
Yeah.
You said Ant had to be better, but also that Mike somebody could lean into. Is that if Mike plays more like he did the other night? Does that open up those types of possibilities? A little bit more?
I mean, of course, generally got to be in the game at the end. So there's sometimes we haven't closed with Mike. Other guys might have been playing better throughout the game, but just the value of having him out there is generally very, very high, even if he hasn't played his best basketball. I think we have to become a little bit more diverse in the end of games. It's a lot of Ant right now, and I think we have other options that we're going to need to go to and other things we can do. Sometimes the best way to close is just with the open guy. Whoever's open gets the opportunity. But what we've been studying this, and I think what hurts more than anything is we've made more clutch games out of non-clutch situations where we've been up outside the clutch zone, and those, and then given it back and made it into a clutch game. So we got to do a better job of protecting the leads that we do build in the fourth quarter before we get into cluch time.
Is Nas ever a first option when you run plays at the end of games? Or is he always after the
No, he's
double
he's a first. He's been a first option at times, for sure.
Coach, you've talked about Rob needing to progress on the defensive end for him to get more consistent minutes. I just wonder, what have you been seeing out of him now that he is getting those 15-20 minutes on that defensive side?
Yeah, I mean, his on ball has been good. His contain has been good. His pick and roll pursuit and the routes he takes there has to be better. Off ball, it's tough for all young guys, particularly when you get caught at the bottom of the floor. So we've got to find ways to try to keep him out of that situation. The single biggest thing I think he needs to do to improve is just his overall readiness defensively. I think he takes too long to be ready, and then he gets, he's already given up size, he gives up strength, he can't afford to give up speed, and he's got to be ready earlier.
Chris, Josh has been out of the rotation last week. Any reason?
Yeah, I mean, his defense. I love what he does for us offensively. His activity offensively has been great. We got to get him back in the rotation, but his defense has just been trending the wrong way, particularly game plan, personnel mistakes, and fouling. So those are kind of inexcusable ones, really. So.
Where does confidence, when you got a team like this has ability and whatnot, and we always think that these guys are the most confident people in the world, but everybody needs this for time. How many times do you got to sit down with a guy and just say, you're really good?
Yeah, for sure. It's part of it. I mean, everybody, long season, you're going to go through slumps and periods where, the game's not going your way and doubt yourself. And, Sometimes it just, it's a matter of seeing the ball go in or playing mistake-free basketball. So you got to help yourself there. But we try to keep confidence in all of our guys. We have a team that could be a little over-emotional, so sometimes they react too much to things. So you got to have some mental toughness too. So confidence certainly starts there.
Anta shot significantly better this year when Julius. Anta shot significantly better this year when Julius is on the floor versus when he's not.
Yeah.
Is that just a gravity thing, I think, or?
I think some of that's just, they got a good chemistry, quick DHOs, kickouts. I think I haven't dug into that specific thing, but I would imagine Ant's shot quality is probably better there too. So.
You made the switch last year on the road when you get to choose the baskets and have the offense kind of in front of you for the second half.
Yeah.
So in the fourth quarter, what's kind of the communication like when you're trying to call something or?
You can call it as it's going up the floor. Yeah, we made that switch. That was Rudy wanted that switch because he liked, to have the energy, of the bench in front, So, but you generally, I guess, teams like to have their defense in front of them in the fourth quarter. You can kind of communicate a bit better there. I do remember one time when I think at the Rockets, we studied it. That's zero correlation to winning. So it's just one of those things. It's a preference thing. It doesn't really equate to much.
Okay. I was wondering as it relates to how you guys call plays or not in clutch time.
Yeah.
Does it make a difference at all? Or
it's a little easier, I guess, to communicate as the ball's coming your way up the floor. But that's